Hello and welcome to Your Daily Detroit. It's Tuesday, November 26th, 2019. I'm Jared Stays.
And I'm Cheyenne Oserini. On today's show, we head to West Jefferson and Clark to check out Viola, a national cannabis producer that's opening their first flagship retail store right here in Detroit.
Then we'll run down some other things you should know around Metro Detroit today.
And Viola, we ask for the blessing upon this building and upon those who will be here in attendance that will help him, support him.
You know, Viola, first retail ever is open right now.
Viola is a national black-owned firm founded in 2011 and headed up by NBA veteran Al Harrington. On Monday night, Viola opened their new multi-million-dollar facility in Detroit right near the old Boblo Boat docks in southwest Detroit. The company operates in California, Colorado, Michigan, and Oregon. This new location will serve as their flagship retail store, but there are plans to expand it to much more. The mission of the company is to, through cannabis, reinvest in the communities that were hurt most by the war on drugs. Those communities hurt were those of color, communities like Detroit. Despite the fact that whites and blacks use marijuana at about the same rate, blacks are nearly 4 times as likely to be arrested for marijuana. That stat is from the American Civil Liberties Union. So I sat down with Al Harrington himself in a back room at Viola to talk about why he's doing this and the details of the project. What brought you into cannabis and doing this as a thing? Because you have leaned into this over the last few years.
It was actually my grandmother. You know, my grandmother in 2011 came to see me play when I was playing for the Denver Nuggets, and she was suffering from a bunch of things, but glaucoma was one of the things that she mentioned to me. I was telling her about some stuff that I was reading, 2 days before she got there about the benefits of cannabis in glaucoma patients. And it took me 2 days to convince her to try it, but, once she tried it, I went to go check on her an hour and a half later after the first time she ever smoked weed or smoked cannabis, and she was downstairs reading her Bible. And she told me that was the first time she was able to see the words in her Bible in over 3 years. So, seeing that and knowing, how religious my grandmother was, not only was it an experience for me through her, but it was like God speaking to me and telling me, like, look, this is something that, you should be an advocate for, you should stand up for. And ever since then, I've been, a huge supporter of cannabis, for a lot of reasons. And, she is the reason why, I got to this point. And, we named the company after her as well. She is Viola.
This seems to be a pretty impressive facility. Why Detroit?
Why not Detroit? You know what I'm saying? Detroit's a place that, historically has been viewed as being a rundown city. And, the goal of our company is about empowerment and uplifting. You know what I'm saying? So we wanted to come into a market where we felt that, that we can bring a lot of opportunity. And, through cannabis, we look at the war on drugs, how it was aimed towards the black community. And, being that Detroit has a huge, community of African Americans and minorities, we just felt like, with our experience and with our brand, we can bring a lot of, recognition, a lot of opportunity to this market and to this city. And, we're proud to be a part of it.
So talk to me a little bit about that opportunity. When you roll up on this place, it is impressively large. It's a lot more than just a store. What do you have going on here or plans to go on here?
Yeah, so this place will be fully vertically integrated. So we'll have cultivation, manufacturing, and we have our retail location here. And, as we continue to evolve, we would like to do, festivals and, on-site consumption and different things like that to continue to educate people about, about the plant and, about all the wonderful benefits of it.
So tell me about the process of putting this together, because we're in a corner of town that sometimes people don't think about, because we're over by the old Boblo docks. We're kind of tucked away over by, West Jefferson and Clark. What's the thought behind here and the process to put this together?
When you look at just regentrification, you know what I'm saying? We wanted to go to a place where we can have an impact, you know what I'm saying? So it's easy to go into the places where it's all done up and pretty. But, when you can come to places like this and create something, you have a vision and execute on it. And that's what we were able to do down here. And, we know that, there's going to be a lot of opportunity that's going to eventually come this way. And, we just feel like we're one of the people that are going to pioneer, the great opportunities in this area. So, like I said, we were really excited about, being able to, open up a business here and, look at what we've done, in a short time. And, it wasn't easy getting here, last year, I think around April or March, we were raided, by the police. and it really derailed us, you know what I mean? But instead of us kind of, just packing our stuff up and going home, we stayed here and we kept fighting, you know what I'm saying? Because we knew this was an opportunity bigger than us. This was really an opportunity for us to impact the community in a huge, major way. We're going to create a lot of jobs from this, and hopefully we'll be able to incubate other, Black and minority, business owners, to get into the space as well, to have ownership.
Your comment about being rated kind of stuns me because there's no way you can, it's not like you're doing this below the board. I mean, this is clearly, you're out here. Why did they do that?
I don't know why, you know what I'm saying? And,
Okay.
they never told us why, you know what I'm saying? They say it was a misunderstanding, but, I guess God makes things happen for a reason, you know what I'm saying? But like I said, instead of us, just kind of being done with this place and trying to leave, we decided to stick with it and, and just continue to push forward. And, that's why we're here today with this, this grand opening.
Do you have any idea or able to share kind of top line? What are the investment numbers in something like this? Maybe even down the line, what are you thinking about?
Yeah, well, I mean, so far what you see today, we've made over a $5 million investment, into this building. And, obviously we probably have to make another 5, before it's actually done. And, we hope to create anywhere from, 40 to 60 jobs at this facility. And, we're just going to continue to grow throughout the state. We want to have other retail locations and stuff like that. So, we're working, every single day trying to expand our business.
How have you found it navigating Michigan's kind of shifting marijuana policies as of late? How has that been for you? Is it something you've been able to handle?
Yeah, it's something we've been able to handle. I got a great team. It's obviously something I don't have to deal with daily, but, we have a great compliance team. These guys stay on top of it. They're always ahead of the curve and kind of knowing what's coming. And, we just do whatever we got to do to make sure that we're compliant. And like you said, it hasn't been easy, but, we've been able to do it, and we're just going to continue to push forward.
And I guess I'll close this with, why should someone check out this place over somewhere else?
Because I think we're going to provide, different strains than other people are going to have. We're about to embark on a couple different collaborations, that other dispensaries just won't have access to. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what's going to make us unique. We may bring some other brands from other states that we have partnerships with. So I feel like, down here, you will be able to get products that, other dispensaries in the state just don't have access to.
All right, Shai, you went down there with me last night. What'd you think?
So first off, I just want to say that this place is beautiful. You walk in and you are greeted by a nice receptionist, and then you get let in to this beautiful place.
Showroom, if you will?
Yes, a showroom for cannabis.
The word that hit me visiting that place was professionalism.
Right.
I've seen a few of these establishments over the years, and this place seemed to have things tight. And I mean, we posted up some pictures on the Instagram, folks who knew what they were doing.
Right. I'm going to sound old here, but when I think of cannabis and marijuana and weed, I think about just you would go to your dealer and you would just get a 35 millimeter film canister with your weed in it, and that's what people stored it in. And the packaging is beautiful, everything is beautiful, and then they even have when you go to pick out whatever type of cannabis you want, you can look at it through a magnifying glass, and the salespeople seemed knowledgeable. Like you said, it was professional.
So here's what else you should know today after a quick thank you to our members on Patreon. Daily Detroit is able to be fearless about what we cover, in part thanks to you. One of the reasons you see so much clickbait online is that media has traded their old ads for digital ones, trading dollars for digital dimes, or in some cases, just cents.
So to do better stuff, you need a better way to fund the news. And in part, we think we've found that way. And this is where you come in. We need your support by becoming a member. You can join us for just a few bucks a month at patreon.com/dailydetroit. That's patreon.com/dailydetroit. And thank you for helping push Detroit's conversation forward.
All right, let's dive right back in. Wondering why I-75 is taking so very long? Well, we now know why. The Michigan Department of Transportation announced that construction on Phase 2 of the major I-75 modernization and reconstruction project will keep going through late December. Weather, an incorrect concrete mix, and additional work added to the contract have pushed the work between 13 Mile and Coolidge back. The weather alone put the project behind about 2 months. Then inspectors found issues with the concrete mix on portions of the new freeway. Specifically, this means the left 2 lanes of northbound I-75 from 13.5-mile to 14-mile roads and the shoulders on the exit ramps to Big Beaver and Rochester roads will have to be redone. Currently, both directions of I-75 are on the southbound side of the freeway, and traffic is down to 2 lanes. The plan was to flip all of this to the northbound side by Thanksgiving. That's not happening, but it will supposedly happen sometime in 2020. Over the winter, 1 lane will be closed from Big Beaver to Waddles Road in Oakland County to add a sound wall. The state flower, the construction barrel, has apparently evolved to be active in all seasons.
Remember that demolition bond proposal in Detroit we spent an entire episode on last week? Well, now it's dead, at least through the spring of next year. Detroit City Council did not motion to reconsider it by a 4 p.m. deadline Monday, and council is about to head to recess, so it's over. Killing the plan was a combination of skepticism that just demolition is the right answer and a damaging report by the city's inspector general showing a lack of oversight. The mayor's office has started notifying demolition contractors that the demo work will significantly be cut. It is possible that the mayor could mount a future campaign to get something like this on the November 2020 ballot.
A tragic shooting on Detroit's west side has a terrible twist. It turns out, according to Police Chief James Craig, a supervisor was just a block away when now fallen police officer Rasheen McClain asked for backup on the radio. That supervisor is now named as Police Sergeant Ronald Kidd. Craig says the sergeant was saying that he was staying back in case the suspect ran away. The supervisor is currently suspended with pay, though the chief would like it to be without pay. But it gets weirder. The Detroit News additionally reports that Kidd returned to duty after being fired back in 2014. So why was he fired? For standing by while a female Detroit police officer was being assaulted. The police chief says someone forged his signature on an agreement that changed the punishment from termination for cowardice to just a 65-day suspension. And we're not done. It also looks like there was a lack of follow-up on a previous shooting at the residence before McClain was slain. Detroit police do have a suspect in the McClain shooting. However, the chronically understaffed Wayne County Prosecutor's Office has not filed charges as of yet, and they hold the charging decision. Not only is this a tragedy, but it's also shining a light on some serious problems within the DPD.
Now on to some good news when it comes to buses. First, new shelters. The city bus system, DDOT, has begun installing 40 new bus shelters in new locations, with an additional 19 shelters getting replaced by next summer. These are nice, too, with solar-powered lights and USB charging ports. 4 of these are already in at Livernois and McNichols, West Grand Boulevard at Grand River, Conant and 7 Mile, and Mac at Connor. 8 more are to be installed before the end of the year. These shelters will also have ads on them, ran by the local company Brooklyn Outdoor.
Second, Lieutenant Governor Garland Gilchrist, at an event Monday, accepted a check for nearly $13 million from the federal government for transit in Detroit and Flint. $8.5 million of that is going to new fareboxes in the city. As a regular bus rider, the farebox not working is, well, frankly, pretty common. It seems to be about a third of the time the driver can't take your money. And that's money that leaks out of the system as the bus keeps running, even if nobody got paid. So this should be a good improvement.
A train has been sitting on the tracks, engine running, and making loud noises for a few days now. It's at Updike and Kensington Roads and goes to about 12 Mile Road. And it's leaving Bloomfield Hills residents wondering why. The reason? According to CN Rail and the Bloomfield Hills Police Department, there has been an ongoing strike of 3,200 workers in Canada, halting operations. Although the strike doesn't impact American workers, there's nowhere for that train to go, and the engine needs to keep running because of the colder weather. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. As we're recording this, it was just announced that there is a new tentative deal between the Teamsters and CN Rail. Operations are scheduled to resume at 6 a.m. Wednesday morning.
And one more piece of news before we go. We just got word that WPP, a large advertising and public relations group, is moving to the vacant Marquette building in downtown Detroit, across from the TCF Center. There will be 1,000 workers in this building, and it'll be mostly for the Ford account, a cornerstone client for the world's largest holding company of creative firms. WPP will take over 150,000 square feet over 9 floors, and the renovations of the building, built in 1905, will be ready in 2020. The Marquette had been left empty after a deal with Adient to make it their headquarters fell through in light of their financial difficulties. It is expected that some tax incentives will be approved for this deal. This will also put WPP and GTB, the brand that works mostly with Ford, closer to the new Ford Corktown campus. GTB had been based in Dearborn.
That'll do it for today's show. Don't forget to tell a friend about the Daily Detroit podcast. We are pushing Detroit's conversation forward each and every day.
And of course, thanks to our members on Patreon who make this show possible. You can become one of those cool people at patreon.com/dailydetroit.
With that, I'm Cheyenne Oserini.
And I'm Jer Stays. Take care of each other, and we'll see you around Detroit.